Hey, it is Rachel and Alicia, and this is Caftans and Cocktails. And I am so excited because I have finally learned how to make a martini, and I'm going to share that with you. It took me about a week, and I've learned a lot of tricks and things along the way that I can't wait to tell you. But let's talk Caftan. This is a vintage kimono that I got from Recess LA. That's Recess like playing LA. She is on Instagram. She has a great collection of both, some kimonos, vintage, designer. Look her up because she's fantastic. And this is a fantastic number. I've loved the red and the purple. It's very glamorous. It makes me feel very old Hollywood as I lounge around in it. I do have sweatpants on underneath though, for full disclosure, because again, it is raining and cold outside, but all the more reason to stay home and make a cocktail. However, I have worn this out. I've worn this to New Year's Eve parties, wrapped a little bit more sultry with some gold heels. I've worn this open over little mini dresses. So a great caftan, a great vintage caftan can get you miles and miles of usage, or places and places of usage, however you would say that. But let's talk martinis. So I actually started this little video series, or happy hour for all of us, because I thought I might want to learn how to make a martini. One of my really good friends right now is this lovely 80-year-old widow who lives near me, and she's a big fan of a martini. So I asked for her advice. I said, how would you make a martini? And she is hysterical. She prefers gin while I prefer vodka, but she told me, she goes, if I'm making it at home, I just keep my gin in the freezer. I pop that in a glass, and then I put just a little bit of vermouth, stir it up, and then I'm done. She's like, now don't tell my late husband, because he would be horrified that I'm not making it properly. But in a pinch, always know you can just kind of pour straight into your glass and go. I do prefer vodka. If you prefer gin, obviously use gin. The one thing that I will say, and I now know this from experience, is that if you, whatever alcohol you're using, vodka or gin, make sure that you're using kind of top shelf or one that you really like. It is predominantly the flavor you're gonna get. So if you do not like it, if it is a cheaper vodka, it's not gonna taste very good. I did the research for you. Also, vermouth. This is Gallo. Actually, one of the sommeliers at my wine store recommended this to me. He said, it's not brand known, but it's really, really good. It's just as good as everything else, extra dry. But you don't need as much vermouth, even as some of the recipes will tell you, or the ingredients if you're looking at how to make a martini cocktail online. Really, you just need a splash, like half of an ounce, but it's almost just a splash. So be aware of that. Now, I like mine a little bit dirty, so I have gotten some little olive juice. There are like dirty martini mixes that you can get. I asked about those to all the people I know, and they said they're mainly just very salty, and I don't necessarily need the salt. I just like the olive juice flavor. So I've poured out just a little bit of olive juice from like my olive juice jar to pour in. And of course I have a great crystal glass. I don't have a traditional martini glass. You can get mad. But I have a lovely vintage crystal one and a bunch of olives. If you know me really well, you know that I actually am, well, I guess I still am. I am an actress, and there was this acting class I took once with Sam Christensen, who was the casting director of MASH. And it wasn't so much an acting class, but it was like a how to describe yourself type of thing. And we had to go through and learn about ourselves. And one of the exercises was describe yourself in an insult. And one of mine was, I'm a martini with too many olives. So, in a nod to Sam Christensen, we have too many olives in my martini. But as we talk about that, let's get to making our martini. So I have kept my vodka, and this is Chopin. I just happen to like it. It's a potato vodka. It's just very crisp, very smooth, and it doesn't have like a bad flavor. That's all I know how to say. You need anywhere from 1.5 to 2 ounces. This shot glass is a 2-ounce shot glass, so I'm just gonna use that. I know this is not a traditional mixer, but it's an insulated cup, so we're gonna use it. So vodka, it's cold, it's been in the freezer. My mixing glass is full of ice. Yay, yay, yay. We'll get that back on later. Our vermouth, again, you really only need a splash. I'm gonna try to gauge this, about half an ounce, and I'm probably gonna put like, yeah, about that much in. because I like it dirty, we're gonna add in my olive juice. There we go. Now, if you have a traditional shaker and you like it shake it. I don't. So we're gonna stir it. You can, while I'm stirring for about 30 seconds, debate amongst yourselves. Shake and stir. What kind of Bond girl are you? Or Bond Bond. Just shake it for about 30 seconds. I'm gonna do a little bit more just for safety. Sorry. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, that feels about good. Again, I don't have a traditional strainer. It's a quarantine, we're self-isolating. We're not making unnecessary trips. So here we go. We're just gonna pour our martini into our glass. It's so nice. Don't spill your ice. This is why, oops, there we go. There we go. This is why I'm a fashion blogger as my day job, because I couldn't make it as a waitress or a bartender. Tip well, because that job is hard. But let's give it a taste. It's delicious, just the way I like it. The vodka is really nice and smooth. There's the hint of vermouth, but not really a ton. And the olive juice just gives it a little bite. So here's to us, here's to our health, here's to staying in and staying healthy. I will see you next week on Cocktails and Caftans.